Hello everyone and welcome to Sane Minds, your refuge from an insane world. Now what I really want to talk about today is the whole Kavanaugh and Ford situation with their testimonies before the Senate. I've been giving this a little bit of time to further play out before I give another update on it. I know I made a video a little over a week ago. A lot more has came out since then. When I made that video, I believe that Christine Ford was the only person who was alleging any type of sexual assault. Now there's at least 4 different people, including Christine Ford, who are alleging this. Now, I'll just go down a list really quick, and then I'll break down, what each person said and what their allegation actually is. Now, Christine Ford, Deborah Ramirez, Julia Swetnick, and then an as of yet anonymous woman are the accusers that have come forward at the most opportune time for the Democrats to try and delay a vote on the confirmation of Kavanaugh until after the midterm elections, where they hope and pray that they can, break the majority that the Republicans right now have in the Senate. I believe that they have a 51 to 49 majority, so a very, very slim majority, and they're hoping that they can at least take some of those seats to where they will be able to indefinitely block any of Trump's nominations, whether they're Brett or whoever. Now, what Christine Ford alleges is she's taken the highlight here, and she's definitely stolen the show, maybe because she was first, or maybe because people feel she's the most credible, being a psychologist and a doctor at a university. Now, what she alleges is that Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her at a party over 36 years ago, and that these memories of her being assaulted were something that were dug up by her therapist in a psychotherapist session. I'm not sure if that means that she was just going over things and then it somehow came back to her, or if she was somehow put under some type of hypnosis or something. I really don't know. All I know is that her husband is the one who pointed out to her that she said Brett Kavanaugh's name, so she didn't even remember the specifics until her husband helped fill those gaps in. So it almost sounds like she was in some type of trance or hypnosis or something, which, I'm not trying to make rumors or anything like that, but that's kind of the way that it seems with how it's been playing out. So apparently Brett, most of you already know the story, but just for those who don't, Brett and Mark Judge, apparently one of Brett's best friends, they were joined at the hip, as Christine Ford said. We're at a party. She was there. She was about 15 in her story. Brett was about 17 in her story. And she went upstairs to go to the bathroom, was pushed into a room by Brett and Mark. They turned up the music, shut the door. She tried to scream once he pushed her on the bed. He covered her mouth. And then Mark, I guess, being drunkenly stupid, jumped on top of them. They tumbled to the floor. She was able to get up and run away. And apparently this was tragic enough for her that she suppressed this memory all this time. And that is one of the reasons why she said that she didn't come forward with this allegation before. So if you want to believe that, that's fine. When I was listening to her testimony just yesterday, I believe, I didn't believe what she was saying. And not just because she had no proof, which she doesn't. All the witnesses that she's called on to say, oh, this person was there, they all said that this didn't happen, that there was no such party, that no such gathering that happened in that way. So she has zero proof. When Kavanaugh, he actually has a calendar that doubled as his diary, that he put down, just like he said his father did. He put down notes about who he met, where he was, what parties he went to, and it shows that for the majority of the summer that apparently she said, because she can't give an exact date either. So for the summer of, I believe it was 82 or something like that, she said that that's when it would happen, and you would think that most parties would happen on a weekend or something of that nature. And so he has proof that he was not even in D.C. at that time, that he was out doing other things. He was in football. He had other things going on in his life. And so that is the closest thing you can come to some kind of concrete proof of what happened, a handwritten diary of sorts on a calendar, that he kept very detailed records of what he did in life. I mean, like he said, he didn't put down when he went to church or when he brushed his teeth, but those were things that he just did automatically every week. There's not really a reason to keep track of them if you know you're going to do them anyway, right? I mean, you wouldn't always put down every day, oh, I went to work. I mean, if you knew exactly your schedule is the same. So I straight away don't believe her just because of how she presented herself. The manner that she was reading off of a script almost. I mean, what she said was basically word for word what the letters we've already heard talked about to one of the senators. That she's not giving any type of new perspective on what happened. She's just reading off of a script, basically. Kavanaugh, on the other hand, was very impassioned. Many times he almost broke down into tears, and the media would like you to believe that it was only Ford who was close to tears. If you look at a lot of the pictures, which I'll show later on, of what people, news organizations, especially the BBC, because like I said before, that's one of the organizations I go to a lot. And it used to be because I thought they were unbiased. Now it's more so that I like to keep tabs on what the left's doing. And CNN kind of makes me too sick to go read all of their news all the time. So BBC it is. But they want to present it as if Ford's some type of hurt child. And Kavanaugh is just this pissed off defendant accused person who's, losing it, I guess. When in reality, he almost broke down into tears many times. I'm really surprised he didn't. And just the way, I mean, obviously I'm biased, right? I believe Brett even before he gave the testimony, but it all confirms what I'm already believing. He seems truthful. He seems like somebody who is wrongly accused trying to clear his name. And the burden of proof should definitely be on Christine Ford. And so far, she can't even give one witness to the account, even though there was multiple people in the house, apparently. So that, to me, tells me that she, for one, has nothing. And also that she isn't telling the truth. Maybe this happened to her, right? Maybe something similar happened to her. But it wasn't by Brett. I mean, like I said, and she said, these came up in a session over 30 years after the event. So for this to be some clear memory, that's obviously not the case. So let's move on to the next accuser, Deborah Ramirez. A former Yale student, she said that Kavanaugh at a party where she admitted she was extremely drunk at the time, put his penis in her face at a dormitory party. And this is in the 80s. So she's saying that they were having some type of drinking game, and she looked up and saw a penis in her face, said, even though I was extremely, inebriated, I was drunk, I was very drunk, that she knew that wasn't what she wanted, pushed Brett away, and in the process of pushing Brett away, touched his penis, and then Brett laughed and pulled his pants up and I guess walked off. And I mean, it just sounds ridiculous, honestly. As Brett said, he was a virgin. He was somebody who went to church weekly. He, was kind of ashamed of himself being a virgin. This does not sound like someone who, I mean, think of people that that were virgins throughout high school and even longer. Is this something that they would have done? I mean, not many virgins are going to want to just pull out their penis and put it in some girl's face at a party. I mean, that doesn't sound like a very outgoing person. So that one right there, I discount immediately. I mean, that she said she was extremely drunk, has zero witnesses for this. As Kavanaugh himself has said, if things of this nature happen, it'd be the talk of the town. And there's nobody who can verify any of this. So on to the next one, Julia Swetnick, probably the most outrageous and outlandish claim of them all. She's a resident of Washington, D.C. She says that Kavanaugh was part of a group of boys who drugged and gang-raped girls regularly at rape parties. That there was lines around corners in the house and downstairs of boys lining up ready to rape some girl who was drugged and passed out in a room. And she apparently Julie said that she witnessed over 10 of these rape parties, that she went to these parties over and over again. And one of the times she got gang raped herself there. Why would you go to a party over and over again that you know people are gang raping people at? Why would you not try and warn some of these girls? Say, hey, let's not go to these parties. You know, someone's going to get gang raped that night. Why would you keep going to these parties, not let anyone know about it, not let the authorities know about it, and then get gang raped and still go to more of them? Because apparently it happened like halfway through. Like, why? That doesn't even make any type of sense at all. You know, someone could say, oh, well, she was traumatized, that's why she didn't go tell anyone. Okay, so then why would you go back to a situation where you could be assaulted again and raped again? That doesn't make any sense. Someone who's, you know, gets assaulted in a dark alley is probably going to avoid dark alleys for the rest of their life. They're not going to go back to these parties, and especially not warn others of the dangers. So this is just infuriating. It's obviously a grandiose statement that is meant to just give someone pause and say, wow, why would someone make that up? Well, I can tell you why. I can almost guarantee you that all of these women are Democrats, and not just regular Democrats. I bet they're activists of sorts, whether they give money or go to rallies or go knocking door to door during, you know, primaries. Christine Ford, she is a confirmed Democrat activist, as I said in my last video, that she is somebody, a very small percent of the population that votes are activists, and she is one. She has an incredible, reason and bias for why she would want to do this, to keep somebody like Kavanaugh off the Supreme Court, somebody who would ultimately lean right in his decisions. So that's just an insane one right there. And then there's an as of yet anonymous woman that sent a letter to a Colorado senator saying that her daughter witnessed Kavanaugh pushing a woman he was dating in 1998, quote, very aggressively and sexually, end quote, against a wall. So this is all just hearsay. He said, she said. There's no proof to these people's claims. There's no witnesses to these people. The other person who was supposedly in the room with Christine Ford allegation, Mark Judge, said this never happened. That's insane. It's crazy. Never happened. Other people that were called witnesses, contacted as witnesses, said this never happened. They have no recollection of that. Over 65 women within one day got together and wrote a letter to defend Kavanaugh in his character, people that knew him in high school, knew him in college. And for that to happen in a day, I mean, think about it. Can you get 65 people to write to your defense within a day? Even if you gave them a week or a month? I mean, really, especially of one gender, could you get 65 women to do that while you're being accused of a sexual assault and being gang raping women? Like, as they've all said, this would be these types of things that are going on. How are there not more witnesses? If there was over 10 parties that this Julia Swetnick lady has witnessed where people were getting gang raped, how is this not something that came up before in the 6 FBI investigations that have happened to Brett Kavanaugh because of the level of security clearance that he held, which is the highest in the government, where he had access to the nuclear codes that help guard our country and keep us safe? How has it not came up? And they think a 7th one will happen? Like I said, they want to delay the confirmation in any way they can. This is simply a political hit on Brett Kavanaugh. He gave an impassioned defense of his character and actual evidence, as such as the calendar that he presented as a diary/calendar. While Christine Ford offered no evidence, none of these other women had any evidence either. And like I said, Ford's memory of the event was apparently suppressed until some psychotherapist session. And also, like I said, maybe this thing did happen to some of these women, like Christine Ford, and they're being misattributed to Kavanaugh for certain reasons. But I think it's even more likely that they're totally fabricated or imagined in some way. Maybe some of these women have mental health issues, and they are making up stories. So, for them to just try and paint Kavanaugh as an accused who's desperate to not have guilt, instead of somebody who is wrongly accused is just showing you on whose side they are on and why. These are the never Trumpers, the people who said that they will fight tooth and nail whatever it takes. These are not people who are unbiased on the fence and giving you a true account of what they just see and hear. So, and as Senator Flake, and I guess you could say he's flaking off on all of his, constituents here, says that he wants to delay the confirmation vote for Kavanaugh by at least a week to let the FBI do a seventh investigation into Kavanaugh and these allegations. So let's go ahead and play a little bit of that right here, just so you can see what I'm talking about, and then I'll give you the other video of where Flake is cornered in an elevator, where they won't even let the elevator door close, where some sexual assault survivor, apparently, that's what the news says, and some other women are there screaming at him, telling him how dare he. Some guy in the background says there's no honor in it, and I'll let you see that right after this. I won't even play the full video here, just a little bit, so you know what's going on.
I have been speaking with a number of people on the other side. We've had conversations ongoing for a while with regard to making sure that we do due diligence here. And I think it would be proper to delay the floor vote for up to, but not more than 1 week, in order to let the FBI continue to do an investigation limited in time and scope to the current allegations that are there, and limited.
Okay, so there you go. This is him caving into pressure, and I'll show you the video that most likely made him believe that this is the right step to take. Okay, so this is the video here of Flake being basically mobbed in an elevator and not even allowed to leave. They keep putting their arm and they stand in front of the door, making it, telling them they have to call security. But here, just make up your own mind.
Right now, look at me when I'm talking to you. You're telling me that my soul doesn't matter, that what happened to me doesn't matter, and that you're going to let people who do these things into power. That's what you're telling me when you vote for him.
All right, real quick, I'm gonna finish the video here and let you watch it. But just notice how immediately they believe Christine Ford automatically. They believe these women. Oh, you're going to let people go to the Supreme Court who do these things? Please show me the evidence. Please, 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 please. And I bet Kavanaugh is saying the same thing. And this guy here is eating it up. He's eating it up because some woman came to him in person and is crying, which later on in the video you'll see she snaps right out of that, right? I mean, once she starts getting angry. But it's ridiculous.
Don't look away from me. Look at me and tell me that it doesn't matter what happened to me. That you let people like that go into the highest court in the land and tell everyone what they can do to their bodies.
Do you have an answer, Senator?
Senator Flake, do you think that Brett Kavanaugh is telling the truth? Do you think that he's able to hold the pain of this country and repair it? That is the work of justice. The way that justice works is you recognize harm, you take responsibility for it, and then you begin to repair it. You're allowing someone who is unwilling to take responsibility for his own actions and willing to hold the harm that he has done to one woman. Actually,
So just this shows you the childlike mindset where you automatically believe somebody just because they came out and said it. Imagine a world where every single accuser is automatically believed and every single person who is accused is automatically guilty. And it is your responsibility to somehow prove your innocence instead of the other way around. That is the American justice system. So this lady is just already believes that Brett is guilty. Notice that. Oh, he has to try and admit to it and then repair it. What if there's nothing to admit to, lady? Are you going to come back later if these women are proven to be liars and say, I'm sorry? No, she's not. But she has the nerve to get in someone's face and call them despicable for voting for someone that is accused of a crime. Which, how many people are accused of crimes every year and are shown to be innocent?
3 women and repair it. You are allowing someone who is unwilling to repairing the harm that has been done in this country to many people. No, thank you. What do you think? You have power.
Questions
No,
for the
I want to
senator.
talk to him. Don't talk to respond. What do you think? I understand, but tell me, I'm standing right here in front of you. What do you have? Do you think that he's telling the truth? No. Do you think that he's telling the truth to the country?
You have power and so many women are powerless.
I'd be happy to talk to you.
Can you not give them an answer, Senator? You just released a press statement. You don't have the courage to give them an answer? Thank you's not an answer, Senator.
Saying thank you is not an answer. It's about the future of our country, sir.
You can be a hero today.
Lifetime appointment in the Supreme Court. That's fine. I'm security.
Be a hero.
Senator,
You
why
could be a hero
now?
and
Why
vote no.
now? Why not wait? Why not wait? Why not wait for the investigation? There's no harm.
How can you be speechless? We demand to know what you're thinking. Do you stand
We
with
honor.
women? Do you stand with this nation who deserves due process?
Senator, you want to respond to their complaints? Senator, you can't respond to their complaints.
No, I need to go to the hearing. I just issued a statement.
You can send an email. You can't give an answer? We're asking you for an answer.
We have a lot of questions here.
Do these women not deserve an answer?
You've heard a lot of the same questions
Only
again
one
and
question.
again.
Do you
I
think
asked
Brett
why.
Kavanaugh
Why
is
now?
Everyone deserves an answer?
They can be heard by the highest
We
people
believe in you.
power.
Be our hero.
Okay, so this is the girl that in the beginning was, basically on the verge of tears, and look how fast she snapped back from that. It really shows not only the unstable nature of these people, but just that most of them are there for one goal in mind. They're not there to be objective. They're there to get their will done. You see how they won't even let the door close. They had to be forced to call security and the threat of security to get anything done. They basically mobbed this guy, cornered him in an elevator, and even the media, says sexual assault survivor, corner, senator, and lift. I mean, these are people who at any cost will get what they want, or at least attempt to. And I believe that this is the moment that actually helped to solidify Flake's mind on that he wanted to delay the hearing. I mean, luckily he's calling for just a 1 week delay. But if this somehow gets delayed further, it could absolutely change the balance if Democrats are somehow able to even flip a couple seats. So this is something that is very time sensitive, and the Democrats know this and are playing on that. So for me, it's an obvious hit piece. It's obvious they're trying to destroy someone's character, delay the vote, so that they can hopefully have an advantage. And real quick, I don't know if you guys can see this part. I'll try and click on it real quick. Yes, right here. Okay. So let me pause that. But just look at the pictures there. Did you see the difference in Kavanaugh's face and Ford's, the way that they're presenting it? They're presenting it as if he's, somebody who's trying to hide guilt and she's about to break down, when in reality, Kavanaugh's voice was cracking most of the time. He was on the verge of tears, sniffling. I mean, he's clearly emotionally distraught over the whole situation. Not because he's someone who's been, caught red-handed or something like that. Like, there is no criminal investigation here. These things have passed statute of limitations. So all that there is on the line is someone's good name, which he has built over decades and decades. And then some woman out of left field who's unknown, Christine Ford, and these other women as well, try and come out and say that this happened and Brett's a terrible monster, part of some rape gangs. This is insane. These are things that would most certainly come out. But it's something that I'm obviously very passionate about, because I can't stand to see somebody wrongly accused have the evidence and the people and the witnesses on their side, and somehow, some way, people say, well, you have to believe the woman. No, you don't. People of all genders lie about things. That people of all genders have agendas. So to say that you have to believe the woman no matter what, that's a fool's mindset. That is somebody who they themselves will get caught up in that eventually. So I don't believe these women at all. And it's not because I'm heartless. It's not because I'm a sexist or whatever, a Republican even, which I'm actually independent, but I'm a conservative. You know, this isn't just because I don't care. It's because they have nothing. They have zero evidence. Show me the evidence, and not just testimony. Show me the real evidence. Bring other people in that can try and back up your claim, as Brett has, that he has those people on his side. So tell me who's lying here. It's not Brett. It's these women that are coming in with false claims or misattributed claims just to delay a hearing, because they know in the end nothing's going to happen to him legally. This isn't about them getting any type of justice. It's about them getting paid off by the political machine and the leftists who are known to bribe people. I mean, people bribe people on all sides. But when it comes down to the big businesses, they overwhelmingly support the Democrats. That's where the majority of bribes are going. So I just want to give my 2 cents on this. You know, I think with what I've said, it's very obvious where I stand. And if you guys would like some new content and more content, go ahead and like and subscribe. Maybe comment down below. I read all of the comments. I appreciate everyone who comes in and you know, gives me constructive discourse, even if you disagree with me. I'm not going to shut you out. I'm not going to delete your comment. Go ahead and post it. If you've made it this far, you probably agree with me anyway. But just know that I'm open to all sides as long as there's evidence. As long as there's a way to show that what you're saying is true in one form or another.